Good morning everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ringwood South. And today is going to be a little short video. I just wanted to sort of give you a brief update on my low relief warehouses that I've been doing. This is the current state of play as it so happens. And I just wanted to kind of show you what I've been up to with it. Basically I've now decided to do the windows. And I just wanted to also show you that the advantages of scratch building it yourself as opposed to buying already ready-made kits, warehouse kits, whether they be from scale scenes or railway model scenery, or whether or not you get them from Skytrex, which is what I was thinking. One of the beauties of doing these things is that if you make a mistake, you can easily remedy it, or you can actually customize it to where you want to put windows and doors to suit your layout. And this is an example down this end. This end I haven't touched at all, and I've just basically put an arch there, so you can do whatever you want. You didn't have to put an arch there, it's just fully customizable when you do it yourself. The windows here I've now done. I'm not happy with some of them, but basically the majority I am. It's very effective and it works really, really well. Some of the ones that I'm not overly happy with I will brick up, just like some of the ones are in real life. So I'm not overly perturbed about it. And there's so many windows here to look at. In fact, there's just under 100 windows here, and that's just the rectangular ones that you can see in front of you. I haven't even touched the circular ones on the top. That's what I still have to do. Now this is what happens if you make a mistake. I'm currently, as you can probably tell by the camera, it's still a bit wet on the bottom, and the reason for that is I experimented with various ways of doing this to try and get the lines right. And as you can see, this was my first attempt, and basically with that I used one of these paint pens that you can get, really fine paint pens, and that actually worked perfectly in the beginning. And I got this from WH Smith's. I think it's about £3 or £4 or something, and it worked perfectly in the beginning, like as you can see there, and it came out really effective. The problem being is that there were so many windows to do, is that it actually got clogged up, and then it just wouldn't work properly, and eventually I just had to ditch it. I was in Hobbycraft today and I was discussing it, and they also recommended using this, but because of the fact that I just used this one and I wasn't happy with it, because I just felt I'm not going to spend more money on another one to have it work for a little while and then after it gets clogged up again. So I decided to ditch this idea, and that was plan A. So here in front of you is plan B, or was plan B, and I got this from Wilko's. As you can see, it was very cheap, a couple of quid or whatever, and there's still a huge amount left in this thing. I've barely touched the surface with this one. It's really, it really has gone a long way, and it has worked to a point, because it's worked basically for the window surrounds, which I'll show you shortly. But the problem that I had is I wanted to do, obviously, the fine lines for the window frames, being these bits here, and it just did not work at all. It was really just didn't work. It was just too thick and it just didn't work at all. So I couldn't really use it. I could use it for the window frames, but I couldn't use it for the actual finer detail, because it just didn't work. So we needed to have another rethink. So we went to plan C. So plan C was an idea that actually came from John Warner. When I was over in Beringer, and I had to do Beringer Station, and I was trying to work out how I was going to do the lines for my semicircle, he suggested using these self-adhesive strips and then basically cutting them down to suit. So I started doing that with my scalpel and cutting very fine strips to basically try and get the lines that you can see here down the middle. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the strips fine enough, and the other thing is that these strips would not stick onto the MDF, it just wouldn't stick, and it just kept rising up, and it just no sooner we put them down, they were coming straight back up. So that was a non-goer. So we're now getting to a point where I had the black mount board, and I was seriously considering actually transferring the holes that I'd cut out through the mount board and transferring that onto the mount board. But I decided to give it one go, and I was in Hobbycraft this morning, and I had an idea. And so I bought one of these, and this is a hard pencil from Hobbycraft. I think this cost me £1.90, and this is a hard pencil, white pencil, and this has done the trick. This has really kind of worked really well to do all of that. So I will continue with the end piece with that. And then what I've done to glaze it, and it's a nice little trick, it's very cheap, very effective. If you haven't got like it's acrylic glazing or any of the glazing like you get from acetate and stuff like that, if you haven't got that, it doesn't matter, because all I've done is use sellotape, just clear sellotape all the way across, and it's given it a really nice little sheen that you can see. I don't know if you will pick it up, the camera will pick it up, but you might be able to pick it up. If I try and do it down the side, you might be able to pick it up. It gives a nice little kind of window effect, so I'm really happy with. So that's the way we're going, and because there's so many windows to look at, I mean, I don't think we're going to be really looking too closely and picking out individual windows and say, oh, well, that one's a bit iffy, and that one. There's a few I'm going to brick up anyway, just to give it another little bit of another dimension and some more detail. I'm also going to run a canopy all the way, make a canopy all the way along down. So what I'm going to do is this is just blue tacked on, so I'm going to show you the actual back of it, and then we can sort of, if I just remove that. So if I just show you the mount board, there you go. That's just how it is. And as you can see, there's all the grids and squares that I've cut out. And to make my life simple, what I've done is I created a template for each individual square. So this square is pretty much the same size all the way around. So all I have to do is just literally just line up the square and then draw around the windows to create the holes. And so on the back, as you can see, and you can probably tell by there and there, you can probably see where the windows were before, where I tried using the other techniques and it just went wrong. So it goes to show you, look, if you make a mistake, that's fine, just paint over it, job done, have another go when it's all dry. It's not really a big deal. So as you can see, what I've done there is I've pretty much used this Wilko's acrylic paint to go around the actual lines that I drew through the template. So I knew where all the holes, where all the windows were lined up, and then I just got a paintbrush. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, because all you're doing is just trying to show the edges. You're not trying to show all of it, but obviously you're painting enough of it that if you have to realign the mount board slightly, you're not going to then sort of have some all black showing. So that's kind of what it is. And then all I've done is I've lined a strip of sellotape from there all the way, one long strip all the way down to the very end, all the way down to the very end on the next row, and so on and so forth. And that then creates a lovely bit of glazing there. And like I said, once you've then put this back, hopefully this will stick, that will just stay like that roughly. So yeah, you don't see all that kind of overspill, if you like, on the back. You're just literally just seeing a white outline to create the frame. So like I said, I've just got to go back over this side. This bit I was kind of happy with, but I think I'm not, so I might have to just repaint that back to black, and then have another go on that end piece there. If I just show it to you like that. This was with the original pen, the Pilot pen that I used, and I was quite happy with that. But unfortunately, the Pilot pen just got clogged up and it just stopped working. So it wasn't really that effective. And then when I tried to push the ball through, it ended up giving large splodges of paint, so you couldn't get proper lines out of it, and it was just too unreliable, so I decided to stop using it. So anyway, that's that. And like I said, I've got that end to do. If any of you are interested in this, I might very well do a live session maybe tomorrow. I'm still off tomorrow, so I might do one tomorrow, possibly. So like I said, leave your comments if you want me to sort of show you a bit more on it. Then I will do, and I'll just do it. I'm not sure exactly when it will be, but it'll probably be. I'm not sure really, to be honest, if it does happen tomorrow, but it might be daytime. Otherwise, it'll be quite late evening. So we'll see how we get on with that. But yeah, I've got that end to do. So yes, so that's pretty much it. So I just thought I'd quickly show you what I've been up to with that, and then and the various ways that I've tried doing it. Like I said, this is the pen, but that didn't quite work out for me, and then I've used the pencil, and then it's a combination of the pencil and the paint. Right, so just before we go, it's just a little add-on for Anthony, so at Strathmore, so bear with me. So here is the engine shed in question. I'm thinking of replacing this engine shed, or just making my own one to go along with my other scratch build. There's something about this that there was nothing wrong with it at all. It's just that there was something about it that I just think didn't sit quite right, and I wasn't quite sure. I've bought another engine shed. Well, I've got two engine sheds of the other one, of the diesel one. So I was thinking of maybe putting the other one that I had back over here, and not using these two. You know, I was either going to just pack them up, or maybe, like I said, just pass them on if anyone was interested, really. I know Anthony had been thinking about possibly adding some engine sheds to his layout, so I thought I'd give him a mention. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they just don't. There's something about it not sitting right. I'm not happy with them being here, and you know. So I was just thinking of just, like I said, either putting them back in their boxes, or just maybe just selling them on, or send them to a good home. You know, if anyone was interested in purchasing them. But this is how they look. These retail at about £45. I think they are anything between 45 and 50 quid. I have two of these, and they are both boxed. So yeah, so that's them. So anyway, just a quick video from Ringwood South, and until the next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.